And welcome back. Well, the end of the year means reflection on many factors of our lives.
Yeah, but if your job has lost its luster, our next guest may have the insight to help you figure out what's holding you back and guide you to a new future. Joining us now is Suzette Webb. She left corporate America to become an entrepreneur. She's also the author of this book, From Blues to Blessings. Great to see you.
Thanks for being here.
I think a lot of people get stuck in ruts, and your job is one of them. And people just, I think, go to work and complaining is a big part of their day that they dedicate time to. I'm so miserable in this job, but then what are you doing to change it?
That's right. That's right. And so for me, the first thing, because you have these feelings, embrace the feelings, right? Because if you sit back and just ignore it and say, you know, I really hate it, I'm unhappy, sometimes we can become locked into the benefits and to the income and all of that, and we fear to explore more. And so the first thing I do is embrace. So for me, when I had those feelings, I tried, but then it was really just my time to move on because it was no longer serving me. I also, for me personally, will say feelings is like kind of God nudging me to say, hey kiddo, I got something a little bit better, maybe a little bit different. But we won't know that until we take that first step out.
Yeah, because so many times we just accept it.
Exactly. So the first thing is, don't ignore those feelings. You ignore the feelings, you look up 5 years later, you're still feeling the same thing. 10 years later, now you feel locked in.
They're not going away.
And
now
then
you're stuck.
And now you have regrets, right? So no regrets.
I like that. Step number 2, you say, is reframe your perspective.
Yes. So I have been in joyless jobs, but I look back and they've served a purpose.
Yeah.
So when I am experiencing pain or discomfort or I'm unhappy, but if I know it's serving a purpose, I can get through it, right? So that's one way we reframe our perspective. And I think that sometimes when we acknowledge, I got to make a change. So for me, I'm 3 boys. We're a 2-income household. They're grown now, right? But at the time, so I couldn't just feel discomfort and then I'm out of here, I quit.
Right.
But there is a transition period. When you reframe your perspective, it helps you to get through that transition period. I also think that there's a micro and macro perspective, right? The micro is really focused on the work itself. And I just dread the work itself. Sometimes we have that feeling. It's not stretching me anymore. It's not challenging me. It's become really mundane, right? But then the macro perspective is, but you know, I work with great people,
right?
Or the community, or sometimes it's the compensation and the benefits. So, you know, when we refocus on the right things, it can get you through the transition period from going from point A to point B.
Well, I like you say that it does that during the transition. It's not saying accept it and just change the way you think about it. It's saying accept it and use that to help you move forward into what's next for you.
That's right.
Your third tip is stop postponing the pursuit of your deepest desires that will bring you joy. How do you find those deepest desires?
Because we are afraid to take that leap of faith, right? To step out there and explore more. We put our deepest desires on the back burner. And I'm a girl who believes, look, I want to go for my life's purpose, but I also want to earn my money there. And it's not always easy, but you'll never find out what that could be if you just kind of stay with what you know.
What's safe.
Right.
Well, and I think a lot of people get to the point of regrets, like you talked about. They have let it go on too long. It's more of a habit. They get to complaining. But I always say that, and I say this to my kids too, it's never too late for a fresh start.
That's
so you might be filled with regrets. Use that as a stepping stool or fear.
And you know, and you know, we're about to turn to a new year.
Yeah, new decade.
But a new decade. And so that's all the more reason. And so I have a faith challenge that I invite people to take because there are 2 constructs that we look at. The openness to experience, sometimes we can be shut down from that. And then resiliency, how resilient are we? So it can tell you where your weaknesses are.
How do we take this? Because this is a 4-minute faith test that you have.
Yes, it's just 4 minutes. I call it a faith challenge. Visit blues2blessings.com and take the faith challenge and it'll give you your results right there. And it'll tell you what you're doing right, but maybe where there are gaps and what you can kind of focus on.
I like that because it gives you, it gives you that little oomph for that
There
confirmation
you go.
that what you're feeling is okay. Like you
Right.
said, acknowledge it, and embrace those feelings. Don't ignore them.
Right.
So Blues to Blessings, moving from fearful to faithful. You can get a copy of it at bluestoblessings.com if you'd like that. That's also where that 4-minute faith challenge is to better understand what might be holding you back from pursuing your deepest desires. As
And it's
Suzette
also
says.
available on Amazon and anywhere books are sold.
Wonderful. Thank you for being
Great
here.
to see you.
I'm so happy.
Happy holidays. Happy New
holidays.
Year.
Yes, yes,
Appreciate
yes.
it.
Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you.
Here.